Hey YouTubers, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, it's going to be another installment in the series of videos about The Secret. Now today's chapter is all about the secret of money. Yeah, that's right. The secret is that money comes in coins and notes. I guess that's a bad joke. But in today's video, we're going to be talking about the way in which we can attract money into our lives. And on top of that, what we can do and really what we have to do in order to achieve that. Now, while you watch the intro video, why not hit the like button? Because I'm about to turn this £20 note into a £50 note. And I believe that deserves a like. So with my mind, I'm going to switch this to hey, it worked. So obviously I tried to do some kind of camera trick there. But if I could actually do that, believe me, I would not be spending hours every week putting content together for YouTube. I'd be living on some private tropical island somewhere in the world. But even though it was a bad trick, for a second, you were thinking, how did I do that? And therefore you kind of believed it for a bit. And that's how the secret works. Basically, whatever the mind can conceive, it can then achieve. Now, I guess the best thing to really put this into perspective is to talk about the experience that I've actually had. Now, a few years back, I decided to start working on my own business and I entered back into the corporate world. And I got to a point where I just felt like I needed some steady income in my life. So I started to apply for jobs that related to what I had studied in university. And I ended up with a technical consultant job working for a SaaS company that provided a software that e-commerce companies were using all around the world. Now, this job was great and I really enjoyed the job, working with the various and well-known brands all around the world that everybody shops at on a daily basis. And then also the team that I was working with, they were great and I really got on really well with them. But essentially, the job was just an entry-level position. And so it was paying entry-level salaries as well, which was essentially a little bit of a pay cut for me as well. But at that point in my life, I just wanted that step into the consultancy world. But bearing in mind, this was also about the time that I was getting to my mid-20s. So I was thinking about my future life and I wanted to find someone that I could settle down with and someone that I wanted to spend the rest of my life with. Naturally, these thoughts of adulthood come hand in hand with additional lifestyle costs. And with only an entry-level salary, I could never think that I could live the life that I ever wanted. So this was when I started putting The Secret into practice. And first, I was doing it all wrong. I kept thinking I wanted a job with more money. I kept thinking I wanted it to be debt-free. But with these thoughts came along the thoughts of my current job and the current salary and the debt that I had from credit cards from my business and whatnot. And so when I identified that mistake, I realized I needed to change my mindset. And so the first thing I did was Google the average salary of a technical consultant. Now, obviously this showed up a large range from the lower salaries and all the way up to the salaries of people who had probably been in the industry for a very long time. But then I took a step back and I had a little think to myself, why can't I do the same things that those higher paid tech consultants do? Why can't I be on the same salary as them? So this is when I started to change my affirmations to focusing more on the salary of the higher paid technical consultants. And I also felt that I didn't want to go out chasing for the job in the industry that I didn't really know too much about, as I've only been in the industry for probably about a year or year and a half. So instead I thought, let me change my LinkedIn profile and just update it with all the skills that I have and try not to focus on the number of years of experience that I have. And on top of all of that, I decided to change my status to open for opportunities. And instead of going out and chasing for the job, let's just see what happens. Now, for the next 30 days, not a lot happened. But then after those 30 days, I started getting approached by various recruiters and headhunters, all wanted to put me in touch with various companies that were looking for someone like me. And then I'll send my CV to these recruiters and not get many responses. Or I get the responses from some of the companies saying that they were looking for someone with more experience. And it was at this point that I realized that I'm not really putting out into the universe what I really value myself to be. Because it's all good wanting a higher salary, but do I truly believe that I deserve it? So my next step was, on a daily basis, I would start looking at the website with a salary range of the tech consultants, and I'd read job descriptions of senior tech consultants, and I would identify that I could do everything that they were asking for in that job description. And on top of that, I looked at the current company that I was working at and how much we were charging our customers as a daily rate for professional services for consultancy work, which gave me a direct representation of what the companies valued my work to be at. This then gave me the value of what I should actually be worth. So once I started to believe how much I was worth, within a couple of weeks, I got approached by a recruiter from a specific company, rather than an agency or a headhunter. And essentially, I began a recruitment process that ended up resulting in me starting a new job that paid more than double the amount of the salary that I was currently at. Now, when I gave my notice of resignation into my original company, my boss at the time said that in the many years that he's been working in the industry and been recruiting so many people, he has never seen anyone manage to jump salaries the way that I had. So the key thing I learned from this was, first, I had to identify that there is something better. And something that everybody needs to understand is there's always something better. Then I had to make myself ready to receive what the universe was willing to provide by changing my LinkedIn status. And then, finally, the hardest part. And that was training my mind to believe something, which essentially goes down to that first point I made. Whatever the mind can conceive, it can then achieve. So only once I was able to conceive my own value, I was then able to achieve a new job paying a salary that felt right. Now, also in The Secret Book or movie, they also talk about setting a financial goal that's so big that you know that you have achieved it because of the things that you have learned from The Secret. Now, the way that they do it is by telling you to write down on a check the amount that you want to receive, and then also visualize that these checks are coming to you in the post. Now, for me, I feel that that's hard to really understand. It's hard for us to conceive that in our mind in this day and age, as no one really uses checks anymore. Plus, the best way to make money these days is online. Therefore, you would expect incoming payments to be directly sent to your bank account rather than getting in the post. So I created my own bank statement as such, and I created this from a bank statement from a banking app that I use, but I've changed the bank name to the Bank of the Universe, and I put the amount that I want to see sitting in my bank account rather than how much I want to receive. But on top of that, I've also put in some transactions of incoming payments. And then what I wanted to do with this is focus on this on a daily basis and visualize what life would be like if I always had £100,000 sitting in my bank, and visualizing money coming in to my account on a regular basis. And then I'll be putting that idea out into the universe so that I can be in a position to believe that it could actually happen. Now, I created a blank version of this and put a link in the description below so that you can get it yourself and make simple changes where you can put your name instead of mine, and also a number that you want to see in your bank account. But essentially, the key thing here is finding that balance, and that's choosing the right amount of money that is believable. Now, this could be different for everyone. It could be starting off with a small amount and then gradually building this up, or it could be starting at a high value. But at the end of the day, it has to be a value that works for you, because essentially you need to set a value that you can actually believe. But at the same time, it also needs to be a value that's high enough so that you also believe that it's this specific process that is actually manifesting it. Now, the reason for that is so that you can continue to do this on a daily basis. And it will also help you to believe that by doing this, it works, so that you can then achieve for something greater once you have achieved it, and keep on attracting the things that you want in your life. And that way you can continually increase your value and work towards that next level of wealth. Now, I guess that point of wealth is what takes me on to the next point, because money is great, but having loads of money has never made a person happy. Therefore, when we strive for money, the whole visualization process should be focused more around the wealth of life, the joys of having a prosperous life, of spending time with our family, helping people in need. And the only way to really focus on these factors is by looking at those great things that we have in our lives already, right now. And once we can forget about the problems with money, etc., and how we can't afford the material things that we want, and focus more on the great things in our life right now, we can then focus on how great our lives will be. Because if we can focus on having more time to do all of those small things in life right now that makes us so happy, the universe will do its work to move everything that's in its way to bring more of those wonderful moments into your life. And then money just becomes a byproduct of that in order to achieve these moments of wealth and prosperity. Now, as it stands, I think for most people, money usually has a very negative connotation, because we always focus on how we don't have enough of it. We always focus on the fact that we don't have the car that the other person has, or we always focus on the fact that we can't have the holiday that the other person has gone on, or we can't afford the house that the other person has bought. And usually most of us only get money once a month that comes into our bank account in the form of our salary. So at that one single moment, it feels great. But straight after that, we have to start paying our bills and everything else. And so immediately we go back to our negative connotations of I can't afford this and I can't afford that. But in order to be in abundance of money, we have to feel good about money in order to attract more. And in The Secret, they say we just need to stop having those thoughts of not having enough money and think about things more like, I have more than enough money. There's an abundance of money and it's on its way to me. I am a money magnet. I love money and money loves me. I am receiving money every day. And then most importantly, after all of that, we have to be grateful for it. We have to thank the fact that we have the money that we have. And one of the other key things of believing you have enough money is having the ability to give money away. Now this is because naturally, by giving money to, say, a charity, automatically sends a trigger to your brain to say that you have enough money. Now this is why I pick specific charities that mean a lot to me and I donate to them on a monthly basis. But if you're in that mindset of saying, I don't have enough money, then hey, I guess you're just gonna end up staying in that same mindset and not having enough money. But if you start giving something and try to increase the amount that you're giving, you will naturally begin to believe that you have enough money. And automatically you will like money more because you're using it to help other people. And therefore, on top of all of that, you will start to attract more money into your life. Now it's key that you need to remember that you deserve every good thing that you want, and that the universe is actually waiting to give you everything that you've ever wanted. But at the same time, the universe is waiting for you to be at that right point in your life in order to summon it. And guess what? With The Secret, you have the key. And this key unlocks your thoughts and feelings. And you've had it the whole time. So one thing to always remember that everything starts from within, and that the outside world is just a reflection of your inner thoughts and limitations. So all you really need to do is just shift that frequency to happiness and contentment. And then you can sit back and just watch the world change for the better all around you, and essentially experience heaven on earth. So what did we learn today? So in today's chapter, we learned that to attract money, focus on wealth. It is impossible to bring more money into your life when you focus on the lack of it. It is helpful to use your imagination and make believe you already have the money that you want. Feel better about money, as when you feel better about it, you will flow more of it into your life. Feeling happy now is the fastest way to bring money into your life. Make your intention to look at everything you like and say to yourself, I can afford that, I can buy that. You will shift your thinking and begin to feel better about money. Give money in order to bring more of it into your life. When you are generous with your money and feel good about sharing it, you are saying, I have plenty. Visualize having your money and tip the balance of your thoughts to wealth. Now, I hope you enjoyed today's video. And as always, remember to subscribe to the channel and make sure you hit the bell button so you get notified of when my next video comes out. And as always, don't forget to like, share, and comment. See you in the next video.